Old Man Garrett never had his way, till he decided one early spring day to step out to his shed. He pulled down his gun and put a bullet in his head beneath the mid-morning sun. Petite Mrs. Tyler couldn't believe her eyes. She'd come home to find his body thronged by maggots and flies. After 70 years of living, how he could do it, she just couldn't tell. She knelt down beside him, despite the rancid smell, as the tears in her eyes began to swell. Old Man Garrett had been a rail worker for years, and the day that they let him go, you should have seen the tears. Old Man Garrett was always such a youthful soul, but fat Mr. Drayton said he'd grown too old. They took his body to the local morgue and fixed it up as best they could. Old Man Garrett was known and loved by everyone in his neighborhood. The funeral was full of disillusion and confusion, and no one could quite figure why. Why old Mr. Garrett would do such a thing, as the rain came pouring down from the sky, as they said their last goodbyes. Smug little Tommy Denny said it had to be a shame. All those prescription drugs the old man was on, that's what's to blame. Who knows? He could have been right, but he could have been wrong. That doesn't matter much. That's what was accepted. Because in this day and age, the word of a pompous young man is strong. And probably rightly so. Not like it was so many years ago when young Willie Garrett stepped off the train from Idaho, just 18 years old, with a heart full of ambition and hope. He'd come looking for a better life than what he'd come from, only to find a world of monotony where the aspirations of youth are shunned. After 5 years of living from day to day, Will finally broke down and threw his ambitions away. He got a job working for the railroad, where he could at least make an honest living and have a modest abode. He found a wife and married, raised 3 children, and found contentment within. Being a respectable working man became his only desire, and he never looked back again. In time, his children grew up and went on their way, and somewhere down the line they lost connection. The memories turned to gray. But he still had his love, and with her by his side he could rise above and keep on living. Fine Mrs. Garrett took her leave one fall. She'd never harmed anyone at all, yet downtown one stormy night she was shot down in vain. She spent many weeks in a hospital bed fighting for dear life and writhing in pain. After the death of his one and only, old Mr. Garrett grew very lonely. Some good people of the county appointed a companion, someone to help him get by. Clean Mrs. Tyler would help him with an open ear and comforting words when he'd cry. Then, one day they said it was about time that old Mr. Garrett be put off the line. 47 years of servitude. Who could make such a call? Deciding someone else's future. It just don't seem fair at all. The railroad was all Will Garrett had left. What was to become of him? No one could have guessed. It was certainly a revelation, but it did not endure, because in reality, he was just another old man who'd outlived his purpose, who had no more goals to procure. Old Mr. Garrett was gone, and his sins soon forgotten after that. But what remains are the blood, sweat, and tears he left on the tracks. He lived a life of devotion and dedication to those who never knew his real dream. And I suppose he'd still have had it that way, even after losing everything.